Oh yeah, we back in this thing. Hold on, y'all. We gotta get that. Hold on, wait a minute. Yeah, we going in this thing, y'all. What's up? This is your boy Rob Glow. This is the Lost Ones podcast. How y'all doing? Coming to y'all live on a Sunday afternoon, Sunday the 10th of July. The time is going by fast, but time is an illusion. Just the seasons is changing. We're just not getting into the middle of summer. It's hot one day, then it might get a little breeze in the nighttime, but the seasons is going. Next is fall. Fall time is my favorite time of the year. My birthday is in the summertime. I still like the fall. Tuesday. Come. Yep. Coming to y'all live. Before we get started on all the topics at hand we got discovering today, like and subscribe to the podcast on any platform that you're listening or watching the podcast, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Anchor, and many more. Also, don't forget to follow Lost Ones Podcast Instagram page, Lost Ones Podcast _. And today, y'all, we got a few topics on the hand that honestly I've been wanting to touch on for so long. That's describing the podcast as far as the topics at hand. And, once you see me on other platforms, such as the Whole Time Podcast, shout out to my boy Remy, 5 Nights Podcast featuring my boy Rula, and 50 Kings Podcast featuring my boy Nate, and any other platform that you see me on, talk about certain topics or issues or whatever the case may be. Here's what me and Remy been talking about the most over the last week or so, pretty much over the last year, discovering about how we want our podcast to be, the message that's going out, the conversations that we're having with different types of people and various things. And here's my perspective on how I don't want my point and my messages in the conversation to get misconstrued. Because often nowadays, it's so easy for people to not hear your point of view or take what you're saying out of context. And if you say one thing, people like to walk on eggshells with certain groups of people. Me, I'm gonna give you the raw, authentic truth, my raw, authentic truth, whether, it's not convenient for you or you might see a different way in a different lens. I like to think that we all have been through certain experiences in life, certain avenues, certain environments that molded us to the point where we have these certain outlooks and views on life. It's totally fine. I'm not against that. What I am against is people that are ignorant and blind to certain truths that we have in our society, within our people and ourselves, and the country that we are currently in. And that goes along with many conversations, whether we want to talk about, people be comfortable to talk about certain things. I'm down to talk about any conversation. I'm giving you what the real is, what my views on it, and how I see how people take their views with it. Not to say my opinion mattered more than anybody. My opinion matters to myself, personally. Everybody's entitled to say what they want to say and how they feel. Doesn't make it right or not. People love to think just because they have an opinion on certain things that it's law. And I know some people say the same thing about me when I get into certain conversations. I say certain things. People be like, "Well, Rob, just because you're saying this doesn't make it true." Certain facts are facts. You can't argue facts. Whether people love try to put their feelings on facts, you can't do that. So when certain people are saying things that goes along with how society and life is constructed, and are tapping into those things that either we've been lied to about or we're just not gaining more knowledge about it, people love to say that, that doesn't make you right, or people can't have certain views and beliefs about certain things. I just think that people love to be blind to really that a lot of their lives they've been misguided about, misused, especially as the younger generation our people, the things we've led astray in the school system. A lot of school system failed us, our people. throughout the years. I'm talking about especially now and going forward, a lot of people are realizing how terrible school systems are in this country. And really, that's how they divide and conquer us. They start from inside the home, taking away the leaders and the men of the homes. They're making the school system terrible. Um, Food, it's all fast food, snacks, all the terrible shit that fucks up our body in the long haul. They put it in our neighborhoods, and they use religion against our people. They've been using religion against our people since the beginning of time, since the beginning of when shit went left. And people don't want to accept that because they live in this mindset or space that some of that shit is good for our people when it's really a detrimental thing to us. And yet, when me or my woman Shar or Remy or Rula or Nate, when we say these things to certain people, they often get either a sour taste in their mouths or they're thinking that, we're trying to shit on their reality and shit on their life. When really, that's not the case. I think that we're just trying to spread awareness and knowledge that wasn't just brought to our attention. People, we have to go out and seek these things for ourselves, things that we were lied about as people. And I think more of this generation is aware of that. We're trying to show them the older generations before us. Some of them already know. But there's a lot of people that still are being misguided about the truth, certain truth. Really. Being ignorant about it. Don't want to learn the real shit about what they're doing with these vaccines out here. And people are finally coming to the realization that these vaccines, shit, man, putting that shit into our bodies was no type of net positive for us. And now I just seen something on Instagram, a post saying that, if the vaccine took a toll on your body, call this hotline about damage payment. They'll pay people that has been affected by this vaccine. Basically, we just became the lab test for these people in a pandemic that didn't even last that long. Maybe like a year. You don't even hear people talk about COVID no more. So about a whole pandemic that they basically just planned ahead. The school system, how terrible they have failed a lot of our children in the past, currently, and what they're doing in the future. That's making people reconsider and start doing homeschooling their children, which they already should have been doing. The mass killings, they're trying to take people's rights to their guns because there are all these shootings in all these areas around the country. This has been going on. There's been a problem. Instead of protecting the children, they rather just put guns in the teacher's hand. They've been wanting to do these things. They've been wanting to do these things to take away more of our rights. Even in the abortions conversation, a lot of people don't want to have this conversation. They fooled our Black women to thinking that they had rights. They fooled our Black women to follow this fucking white woman movement that they had no part of. This shit wasn't about women's rights because at the end of the day, if Black men doesn't have certain rights, then Black women don't have no rights. We are Black, we don't have no rights in their system as a whole. Our women were misled thinking that they had rights in their system, which they don't. Now it's coming to a sense, we having these abortion conversations is really because their people aren't populating as much as we are. So they're taking away certain things so that people can keep having babies and keep reproducing and not become the minority and stay the majority. And yet people are looking at it as, oh, they're taking away a rights thing. It gets deeper than that, man. It gets way deeper than that. It gets so deep in that people just fall to they're taking away rights. We never had rights in this shit. And I think that's another thing people have been really misguided about. Thinking that we as niggas have any type of say-so in their system. If that's the case, we want to have one Black president. He's not even fully Black, but that doesn't mean that he's still a Black man. But still in the fact that we would have more people that look like us in these positions of power, that have more of a say-so. And every time they put a Black face in a certain position in their system, they are led to look like fucking coons and go against the integrity of our people just to make a quick dollar or to praise up to these white men and women. That's all they do, man. That's all they do. They use a black man for the seat. I guess he was a judge for the court ruling of the Roe versus Wade, and make him look like a crash dummy. And the whole thing is just, they put black people in these certain positions to make them look like dummies and make them look like the fall guy or to kiss up to their administrations and their systems. So my thing is, I think more people these days are starting to wake up and see what shit for what it really is. But when is it going to come to a point where it's going to be a revolution starting for the people to overthrow certain shit to get what they want? Especially the ones at the bottom, the ones that look like us. When are we going to start holding more people accountable, the ones of the wealthy, to actually take care of the less fortunate in the country? Are people going to start doing that? No. We have a lot of these billionaires, gazillionaires, trillionaires. Motherfuckers want to go to the moon. And about a billionaire or two can just end world hunger and homelessness, even in the country, just starting in the United States. All these fucking entertainers, that's millionaires and billionaires off of people supporting them, are they going to support the people? No, man. When are more people going to start asking these questions instead of idolizing these fake ass people that give off this fake ass symbolism in the entertainment system or whatever the case may be? I don't know. But the whole point of saying all that is, when I have these certain conversations and when I do discuss these certain things, I don't want shit to be misconstrued. There's going to be no way people are going to take my voice and take what I'm saying and take what I'm feeling about any type of conversation and make it twist to be that I'm saying another thing or try to disrespect someone. The point is not to disrespect. I can say something about certain things. And if you're feeling personal about it, that's on you. My point is just get my point across and not sound as demeaning. I can say the harsh truth while still knowing, okay, let me see how I can say it without coming across like I did. Because guess what? There's certain times where I'm listening to myself talk on a podcast, I'm like, I could have been a little bit softer on it. And as other times I've been like, I can go a little bit harder about this certain issue. So to me, it's just about wanting my people to see another perspective in life and not just living by this just below mindset, just giving them the thing like, just giving another perspective, another way of thinking, another way of, going about their lives and just, I can't lead everybody. I don't want to lead only my children. Let me just say that. But me as being a 26-year-old, about to be a 26-year-old Black man and having this mindset, knowing that a lot of it's a few Black men that I see around my age who's having this mindset. And I salute them niggas. I hope they go far, young Black kings. Which, we also live in a generation where there's a lot of lost ones. But that's real. So it's just about getting better. It's about understanding. It's about gaining more knowledge. It's about having more self-awareness with certain things. And when you going back to the regular issue at hand, not being misconstrued by the conversation. When I'm saying, I'm giving you everything authentic, how I feel, and in the best way I can. Can't be fake about it. I can't hold back. I'm not going to just give you a half-ass ideal. I'm going to give you what I'm feeling, the raw truth about it, and we can have a conversation. Now, we can all agree to disagree. We can see each other's viewpoint and still go about it how we want to. That's perfectly fine. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to put feelings over facts. Is what we're not going to do. And I hate doing that with certain people or just people in general, period, because in these days, people put feelings over facts. Facts don't have no blanket to put over you. Facts don't have no type of comfort to give you just because you can't handle certain truths. We can't do that, man. We've been led astray for so long, man. We've been giving people passes for so long. We've been giving our people this blanket ass idea to be lied to for so long. We cannot continue to do that. I'm not going to do that. And I think that's why a lot of people tune into the podcast. That's why a lot of people tune into me being on my people's podcast and giving my certain ideas and my certain what I'm thinking and how I feel. And because everything is, I mean, it's real authentic views. It's not something that's being battery pack put in me or somebody's telling me to say. No, this is what I feel. This is how I view things. This is how I view the world as a young 26-year-old father. I can only be authentic about it. So I just wanted to touch on that and see where everybody's heads is, and just letting everybody know about the conversations on the platform. On my platform, it cannot be misconstrued. It's going to be straightforward to the point. Even if I have to go, create a story, not create a story, but give you a background story to whatever conversation you're giving, so it can be just to the point. And that's enough of that topic. We'll have more conversations about being misconstrued. Trust me. Certain episodes and certain topics have been misconstrued in the past, but that's okay. It's for people that get it, and for those that don't, hopefully you get to that understanding and get to that point. I have another conversation to get into while we're here, y'all. Music. Now, I've been a music connoisseur since I can probably remember. My parents has got me hip to a lot of music over the years, especially older music. And now I'm gonna just say this. I've been feeling like this for a while now. I've been feeling like this. Just give me 2 seconds. I've been feeling like this for about 6 to 8 months, maybe the beginning of the year, a little bit towards last year before last year ended. Music these days, man, I can't do it, man, especially with the certain genre. Drill rap has been mostly promoted throughout the last 10 years or so. It's because, one, they're trying to put a negative message on Black men. These record labels are finding young niggas in these situations and gang activities and pushing them to the top so they can rap about killing the murderers and getting themselves in trouble with the law. These record labels, these white-owned businesses that control music are pushing these certain sounds. And then our people who's in these situations are the ones that's benefiting from it, and they're the ones that's catching the most flack from, the law. And it's getting to the point where you see mainstream media is talking about the violence and the drugs and the misogyny and whatever the case may be. It's going to the women that's rapping about it as well now. So my thing is, when are we going to come to a point of not making that type of music the norm? Now, for me, I still listen to some of it. I'm still conditioned to some of it, but lately, honestly, I've been more to finding the more mellow music, more R&B, more laid back sound, because it takes a lot of like that energy in you, man. I'm not in that lifestyle. I've never been in the lifestyle. So me listening to that music, I'm not doing that. I'm not killing nobody. I'm not selling drugs, doing other things that a lot of these rappers these days are talking about. Yeah, I was listening to the music, to catch a vibe. It sounds good, the beat, but that shouldn't just be the only schmick that comes with it. And plus, these days, to me, everything sounds the fucking same now. I mean, it's been like that for a while. I'm not gonna lie. But it feels like this shit's been sounding the same for the last 5 to 6 years. Everybody making the same sound. Everybody want to rap on the same shit. Everybody want to give the same cadence. Not even just mainstream rap. SoundCloud, YouTube rappers is doing the same shit. Niggas in Cleveland are rapping the same type of way. Everybody's a street nigga want to rap with a gun in music videos. The shit gets old, man. And I've been having this same conversation for like the last year and a half. So at what point is people going to come to the conclusion like, okay, maybe we need to switch it up? Is it because the people nowadays that's listening to these this music nowadays, or younger generation, that's what the younger generation want to hear, then maybe the younger generation should be the ones that have the most control about what's popular and what's not. I'm gonna just say it. I'm 20. I'm about to be 26. I'm still young. I'm still part. This is like in the middle of my generation. You know, I'm going on a limb saying maybe we shouldn't be the ones that have control about what's the hottest music out. Because a lot of shit is some of the same repetitive, regurgitated shit in songs, man. But as soon as you say it, as soon as you touch on it, as soon as you know, go into that realm of the conversation, like, whoa, don't listen to the music. Oh, you're hating, and you're these people are talking about their life and what the shit they've been through. Niggas just talking about sliding on a nigga block. That's storytelling, no, that's niggas telling themselves. And then when people get in these situations, they be mad at the rappers for, indicting themselves. Well, y'all have been subscribing to this music. This is what you fans are wanting from these rappers. Stop idolizing them more than what they is. Maybe if you thought about switching it up, them sticking to the rappers. Maybe if they switch up the cadence and haven't have so much negative influence in their songs, maybe the way of music will change over time. Hopefully, that's why I'm hoping. So I just want to give my opinion on that, because it just seems like, man, music is not the same. It doesn't have the same feeling. It doesn't have the same bop. It doesn't have the same, everybody's different in their own ways, man. It seems like I can name about 10 niggas with the same type of cadence right now. That's rapping right now. I can get 10 niggas. 6 or 7. 6 or 7 at the most. But who am I, man? I that's why I be thinking nowadays when I give my opinion on certain things. Like, who am I? Who am I? I'm still listening to certain shit. And like I said, because it sounds good, the energy. Sometimes you have to separate that shit sometimes. Like, okay, it is what it is. For the final couple minutes of the podcast, this episode, I'm gonna touch on your boy Kevin Durant in these Nets. Not even just Kevin Durant. I'm gonna just talk about the NBA as a whole. I'm gonna just sum it up like this: Lakers will not win with Russell Westbrook on the roster. And if they waste any more of LeBron James' time, I need LeBron to force a trade out of LA. If Bron doesn't dictate how he plays this last season, especially with how the Lakers are constructed, I won't think that LeBron's in the business of winning again. If he doesn't find a way to either get this roster where it needs to be or to get off this roster completely. I love Bron. I'm the biggest Bron stan it is. But at this point, there's no more time to waste. We're in year 20 now. Like, if everybody around's not in on the same end goal, then maybe you shouldn't be around those people in that organization. You won them one championship, but that's one championship in about 4 years. This is 3 or 4 years. Kevin Durant, I've been telling y'all about him. He's not that type of superstar. He's more of a Tracy McGrady type of star. He's a great scorer. He's a great scorer. Outside of that, his play is very limited. One, because of his frame. He's not a passer. He does not rebound the ball as the 7-foot big that he is. But this is not a sports podcast. I'm gonna leave it for my sports podcast. Before we leave off the episode, I want to give a special shout out to everyone who's still been supporting the Lost Ones podcast. Like I said, subscribe to any platform that you're viewing, watching, listening to. Like and subscribe on the Lost Ones podcast YouTube channel, Lost Ones podcast. Stay informed, man. Stay yourself. Stay genuine. Especially in these times where life has these hardships and it's gonna knock you the fuck down. Believe me, I've been going through knockdowns every single time. I've been going through shit that's not. I haven't been going through shit, but I'm in the process of trying to take myself to another level, and it's hard. Not hard as in it's not doable. It's hard because it takes a lot in that process to you to get there. But once you get there, it's going to be a satisfied feeling, especially to make your family proud, people that you love proud, and that's where I'm at right now. I'm in that process of really just being that type of man that I know I'm going to be and I need to be for my family. I got my own now, so I'm at that point, and now I'm at the point in my life where I'm only going to be surrounded by people that have that. You know, I've been stuck on sticking around people that has the same emotions as everyone and want to follow the certain trends. I'm at this point where I want people that be them individual selves, even if you're corny. I'm corny. I don't give a damn. But this is your boy Rob Blow. Thank y'all for tuning in. And who knows? I might drop this episode tonight. I might drop another one as well. Give you back-to-back episodes. Peace. And before we go, for the next episode, I'm gonna say about NBA 2K23. Not buying it, but that's just me.